Alright, so check it out. This is what we're working with today. We're going to be putting in this shower pan liner. But first thing I want to do is I'm going to try to correct this pre-slope that they have here. It's not the greatest. It is sloping. That's a good thing. But I just want to make it a little bit better. See, we have this little gap here that needs to be filled. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to pour some mix up in here and get this thing nice and pre-sloped again. Alright, so here we go. That stuff does dry pretty quick. It doesn't have to look as real pretty. It just got to do the job. And I'm gonna still try my best to make it look as good and smooth as possible. So it is a self-leveler, so it is, making itself leveled and flat on its own. You just got to help it and push it where you need it. Is one reason I did not make it real thin. I try to make it a little bit thicker so I can kind of work with it more versus it just dripping down where it wants to. And like I said, this doesn't have to be perfect. It's just the pre-slope, but still, we're trying to achieve a nice bed for our pan liner to lay on. Pretty nice. Check it out. All right, let's see. Fix the camera here. All right. So as you can see, I might have to mix just a little bit more. That hole where that drain is. And for the most part though, the rest of it looks real nice. So once this dries up here in about 20 minutes, I'll be able to step inside of it and I'll be able to install my pan liner today. Here we go. The self-leveler is pretty much drying up. I got the fan on it. My pre-slope is, perfect. Everything looks good. So I'm ready to put my pan liner in. So I removed the ring because it's just going to get in the way for now. Well, you have to remove it anyways prior to putting in the pan. So you remove that and you want to keep the screws in place. You want to keep your screws in place so that when you put your pan liner inside the shower, you can kind of see where these bolts, are punching through the pan liner. And then I'll show you how to cut through that once we get there. But for sure, you want to keep these bolts, keep those bolts on at all time. And so while that's drying up, I got my pan liner extended out. I believe it's a 6 foot by 6 foot pan liner, which is a little bit, a little bit overboard, but that's all right. The more, the better. And as soon as this pre-slope dries up, we'll drag that into the shower, start getting it folded up and cut. So the pre-slope has dried for the most part, but good enough to step on. We're not going to damage anything. So we're ready to get this pan liner in and get it installed. So one more thing, you want to make sure you have 100% silicone for this ring here. If you can see this ring, you see that ring around the flange here, that is for silicone. You want to fill that in with silicone so that when you tighten these bolts down onto your pan liner, this gets sealed up from water. So you want to make sure you have 100% silicone. It could be clear, could be white, doesn't matter, just 100% silicone. In this case I have white 100% silicone, and that's what I'm going to use. Alright, so I pretty much folded my pan liner in half so that I know pretty much where the center of my pan liner is at. Alright. So you can already see we got a lot of overhang on this side and not enough on this side, so we got to scoot over to the left. You want at least 6 inches up the wall all the way around. That's perfect. Good. Alright, there. So we can see I got it roughed in just where I want it to go. I can actually pull it back some. I'll probably do that just because I got way too much over there. Alright, so that's better. That's plenty. We got good 6 inches on this side, you know, good half a foot on that side. Alright, so once you have it roughed in, right, now what you want to do is grab your silicone. Get you a nice bead of silicone in there. You don't got to get too crazy with it, just enough. Perfect. Okay. Alright, so once you get that top piece of the ring in, tighten down your bolts, you can see my silicone starting to creep. You can see a ring of silicone creeping out. I might have put a little bit too much, but that's definitely sealed in there, so that's a good thing. So once that's in, that's it for that. Now we just got to work on these corners, fold them up. Bam, one good staple will hold it there. Same right here. Tuck it down back into the wall. One good staple. Bam. This side. All right, let's look at this corner real quick. So what I did here, just like this. Bam. So I got my furring strip right here. So this should tuck in right behind my 2 furring strips once my board gets up here. So that's a nice perfect bend. And I can actually throw a staple right here to hold these corner in. I think I'll do that. Anywhere. Bam. Nice bent. Look at that. Water never gonna go up that high. That one finished. I'll work on the outside. On the outside one here in a second. Let's do this side. Let's see what we got. Alright, just like this. I'm gonna do it just like this. I like that right there. Here. Okay. Perfect. Alright. So we got this corner nice and set. Pan liner is in. Got our corners creased and folded where, you know, we feel it'll work out. Now we got to work on these curb corners here. Alright, got that out the way. So now you just kind of tuck it over your curb, give yourself enough room. Again, you don't want this pan tight, you want it just laying in there and the mud's gonna hold it down. So once I get my board up is where I'll be able to kind of fix this corner here. For now, I got it wrapped over the curb. Alright, so now same with this end. Flap it over, give yourself some room. Kind of guess where this kind of ends at the wall here. Just like that. So there we have it. We got our pan liner in. Just got to work on these cement boards, get that in, and I'll be able to fix these outside corners on my curb. But for the most part, I got that nice and folded there. That's nice and folded. That's under nice and tight, ready to go. Check it out. Got the floor mud already set. I touched up the walls with the waterproofing. I got mine niched, nicely squared off and waterproofed, ready for tile install tomorrow. Now, all I gotta do is work on this curb, get that pretty much finished. But you see my pan liner is in. Everything is looking good. Ready to get rock and rolling.